Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, as a society, we tend to focus a lot on the best. Who's the best in whatever category, known as the greatest of all time, the GOAT. You know, in referring to the NBA, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. There's a lot of conversation and debate over who's the best. Well, of course, that's great and all, but I wish sometimes we would have more conversation about who's the worst. Who's the worst of all time? And especially within the realm of politics, where being the worst is actually relevant and significant to the future of the United States. You know, Joe Biden is arguably the worst of all time. That's relevant. Well, now let's take a look at the House of Representatives. Who is the worst public official in the House of Representatives? Well, I think that we might have found him. An individual by the name of Hank Johnson. Sure, a lot of you guys know who this is. I literally had to pause recording this video because I'm laughing out loud, literally. How is it that someone like Hank Johnson manages to be an elected Democrat official? Only the Lord has the answer to that question. I want to take a look at Hank Johnson's performance during the House's John Durham hearing, maybe take a look at some career flashbacks, and then talk about the greater issue, which is the general quality of Democrat politicians. There's some bad Republicans out there, but for the most part, they're qualified individuals. They're just kind of snaky and cringe. When it comes to Democrats, when it comes to the Democrat Party, it seems like there's a common denominator when it comes to their trashy politicians, not just malfeasance and being corrupt, but just general competence. These people are legitimately dumb. From House Representative Hank Johnson to the tippy-top, brain-melting piss-pants Biden, let's take a look into this phenomenon. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so the Democrats are grilling John Durham. But here's the thing. John Durham's work was righteous, it was fair, it didn't achieve what Republicans were hoping for, which is not entirely surprising. It's kind of hard to prove some of these allegations and the connections related to all the illegal actions that were taken by Hillary Clinton's goons. But for the most part, he was fair and he stuck to the facts of the case. And so if you're looking to take on John Durham, well, it's pretty much a losing endeavor to begin with. You're not going to look very honest. You're not going to look very good. You're not going to get these aha, gotcha moments. Well, Democrats certainly tried. Hank Johnson probably being the least qualified. Here's Hank Johnson's great gotcha moment.
Investigation led to the indictment of only 3 individuals, correct?
That's correct. Well, it's
contrary to the fervent prayers of some on this panel, former FBI Director Jim Comey and former CIA Director John Brennan were not among those 3 who were indicted. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And to the extreme disappointment of some on this panel, your investigation failed to produce indictments against Hillary Clinton, correct?
That's correct.
Didn't indict Barack Obama.
That's correct.
Didn't indict Joe Biden.
That's correct.
Couldn't even indict Hunter Biden.
We didn't
correct?
Investigate Mr. Hunter Biden.
And of your 3 prosecutions, 1 ended with a guilty plea to an unrelated to the origins of the FBI investigation, and that individual received a probated sentence with no jail time, correct?
Parts of that are correct.
And the other 2 men you prosecuted went to trial on the charges, charging they were accused of lying to the FBI, and both were slam dunk acquitted. Isn't that correct?
They were acquitted.
And none of the individuals you prosecuted were ever charged with being part of a hoax or a fraud or a witch hunt or a politically motivated deep state conspiracy against Donald Trump. Isn't that correct?
I would not say that that's accurate.
You mean you did charge somebody with being a part of a hoax?
We charged Mr. Sussman with having knowingly provided false information to the FBI regarding Alpha Bank.
But he was acquitted, though, right?
Well, that wasn't your question.
Mr. Sussman was acquitted after you charged him, correct?
Grand jury found
he was found innocent by a unanimous jury of 12.
That's not true.
Well,
what's true is the grand jury found probable cause to indict Mr. Sussman.
I don't even know what to take from that. John Durham seems as confused as I am. What the hell does Hunter Biden have to do with any of this? But it just goes to show the ignorance. Hank Johnson has absolutely no idea what the Durham investigation was even investigating. He then goes on to try to make the point that Michael Sussman and other individuals were unanimously acquitted. Slam dunk acquittals, he named them, in the case brought up by John Durham. Durham. John Durham immediately shuts that down. Well, that's not true. And it brings us right back to the point that these are the types of Democrats that are getting elected. I mean, who is this guy? And probably a better question, what is this guy? He's a complete clown. He has absolutely no idea, no grasp of any of the facts of what he talks about. He's incoherent, I mean semi-coherent at best, and he also happens to be the same guy, here's the flashback I was alluding to in the intro, who at one point during his amazing career was trying to warn us about the possible threat of the island of Guam being capsized in one of the most baffling moments ever recorded. I mean, a true mind of science.
This is a island that at its widest level is 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other. Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
And again, as I just said earlier, it brings us right back to the same point. Democrat voters actually elect these people. And of course, it's not just him. Here's Jerry Nadler being clueless.
Ms. Durham, your investigation cost more than $6.5 million, involved the work of dozens of FBI employees and federal prosecutors, some of whom resigned in protest, and took roughly 4 years to complete. Is that correct?
No.
It's not correct.
No, I mean, there were multiple parts of that.
Did it take 4 years to complete?
Correct.
Okay.
No frickin' idea. They don't have the facts to take on John Durham, let alone anybody else. And you notice the stark contrast, of course, loyal viewers of this channel, we've been covering moments like this in Congress and in the Senate for years at this point. I have never seen a moment where Republicans look so clueless, so unarmed with the basic facts of the case. Most of the time, Republicans come in over-prepared with receipts, hitting hard and hitting factually, and so the weak milk toast middle argument of, both sides has a bad Congress people is complete garbage. This is a uniquely Democrat problem, or at least it's much more prevalent on the Democrat side than the Republican side. Not to argue that every Republican congressperson is perfect or a mega brain Harvard genius, but you pretty much get what I mean. It is an epidemic in the Democrat Party. People are elected based on marketing campaigns and imaging over anything else. It is the most superficial political party I think I have ever seen. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a great example. Someone like Cori Bush. Legitimately unimpressive, unintelligent, totally unqualified individuals getting elected to positions of power because they're kind of the face of a marketing campaign. Either that or someone like John Fetterman, who's clearly unwell, Joe Biden, clearly unwell, Jerry Nadler, clearly unwell, Dianne Feinstein, clearly unwell. I made a video on that recently. It's a uniquely Democrat problem. Although I'm not exactly sure they view it as a problem. At the end of the day, all they want are people who are going to toe the line. And you definitely have that with Hank Johnson. I don't think he knows any better. I don't think he knows much of anything, to be completely honest. We're looking at the bad news bears of Washington. You know, I'm laughing a little bit. It's funny, but at the same time, it's totally disgraceful. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.